Hello and welcome to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Marta. I come from Norway and I love makeup, indie makeup and sparkly things especially. And today I'm filming a very special video to me because I'm finally doing my Glam Shop favorites video that you guys have been asking for like months. And I'm also just combining it with my Glam Shop collection because I cannot decide for my favorites whatsoever because it's so hard. So I'm just going to like bring everything out and look at it and then just tell you my opinions on it, and like hopefully I will be able to say like which kind of products that I have from them that are my favorites, which will especially be difficult with all the single shadows that I have because I love them all. So the reason why I am filming and uploading this today, the 10th of June, is actually because Glam Shop asked me if I wanted to announce a huge sale that they're having in exchange for some products. So I think this will count as a sponsored video because they said that they would send me product like in exchange for me announcing it. So I've marked this video as a sponsored video just so you are aware of that. And the reason why I'm uploading today, the 10th, it's because right now, the 10th of June is the start of the sale, and I've been told that they will have some products, like single shadows, marked down 50%, and some of the singles will be even down to like 5 Polish zloty, which will equal 1.12 euros or 1.36 US dollars. And I've never seen them be that cheap. I've seen them be down to like 7 zloty, but that is so cheap. Of course, I wanted to share this with you because I try to share the sales of my favorite brands when I see them, and I think it's just a really good time now if you have been wanting to try out Glam Shop or if you just want more products from Glam Shop, like this is the times. And they didn't really tell me like how they wanted me to announce the sale, so I just figured this would be the perfect time to finally do this favorites/collection video. So hopefully it can help you to curate your cart or wish list or just let you look at some amazing sparkly makeup. So let's just get started. I think I will just get started with all of like the smaller products like lipsticks, brushes, and like all those like individual products first. And I'm actually wearing one of their lipsticks right now. I think I have a full face of Glam Shop. I just have a few products that aren't Glam Shop on my face now, and I did film this look and I will link it below whenever I have edited it because it's probably not coming up before like at least a week because I'm in the middle of my exams, like literally in the middle. I had one yesterday and I have one tomorrow, or finals if that's what you call it in English. So the lipstick that I'm wearing right now is the one that's called Osaka. It's like a beautiful nudish pink one. And then I have also the one that's called, I think it's called something with Biszkopt. I always leave the products linked down below in my description box, so if you're interested in seeing me use any of the products that I mentioned today, just like go to my channel and search for whatever the name is of the product and all my content with it should come up. So this is a really beautiful nude, and I think I like this one the most out of the lipsticks that I have. And I do actually have a liquid lipstick from them from their Valentine's collection as well. This is called Vabik with a W, and it's a beautiful red one. It's just I haven't gotten to use it, and I was planning to use it today, but then I completely forgot again. But this is just a gorgeous red shade, which probably will be one of my favorites, but I haven't used it yet, so I have to see how the formula is. But the color is amazing. So here you can see all of those close up. So this one is the middle one is the one that's called Osaka. Then we have the nude one there and the red one. They're so pretty. And I'm just going to stay zoomed in for this one because this one is one of their like body glitters, I think it's called. Okay, so I literally just like these rolled out and on the floor. But this is really beautiful and I have used it in a look. I don't know if I filmed with it, but I added it as like a glitter liner. So these are not really intended for use in the eye area, I think, but it's a beautiful glitter gel. I do also have the concealer in shade number 1, which is the one I'm using right now, and it's so lightweight and it does give a nice coverage in my opinion. So I do really like that, and that was sent to me in PR, by the way. I used it today actually because they have this under eye powder that is like specialized for under eye, and I used that today and it has some perfume to it, so I don't necessarily love the smell, but I feel like it applies really nicely and beautifully, and I really do like the product itself. I also bought this foundation from them because I was just so excited to try it. And if you can see on my skin right now, it has like a very natural coverage. You can still see my freckles, but I feel like it kind of minimizes my pores, which is amazing. I hope that you're fine with me being this zoomed in, by the way, while talking about it. But I really like the foundation. It's kind of one of my favorites, actually. And while we're still at like face products, I do have this matte HD powder from them, which is what I use every day to powder my face, not my under eye, because I feel like this one kind of darkens up the under eyes a little bit, so I don't love it for that, but I do love it for the rest of the face. I'll also just bring this face palette that I have because I do have one of my favorite powders in here. This one is their Invisible powder, which is a translucent powder that is pressed, and I have a really big dip in it because I love using this for the under eyes as well, almost more than the actual under eye powder, just because I don't like, this one doesn't smell anything, it's just a powder. And then I have some of their, like, I have their bronzer here, it's called Brazer, I think, and then this one is Kontur, which is a contour powder, and then I have this one, which I don't remember the name of, but it's one of their peachy ones, Goly Biszkopt. Yeah, so Goly Biszkopt, and those are like all these three are my go-to everyday face products, actually, and the powders. So those I use all the time, so I would definitely call those some of my favorites. I also do have their sponges that I got from them in PR, and those are really good as well. And I did also get some like brush cleaners, but I have not tried them yet. I have one for natural brushes and I have one for synthetic brushes. And they also have like this little pad thing that I have not gotten to use yet because I just got it like a week or, okay, 3 weeks ago. And I'll just talk about the first palette right now because this is a face palette called Swietlowka, and it's kind of like a inner corner, like you can use it as eyeshadow or as a sparkly face highlight, and I use this as both. I love it. It's so sparkly and shifty. I do have a video with swatches on this one, so just search for it in my YouTube channel and you will find some swatches, but this is a very, very beautiful palette, and especially this one in the middle right here, it's their purple shade and it's called Halogen, and it's one of my absolute favorite highlighters, so I really, really like this one. Also, their Klasyk mascara is something I use every day for all my makeup looks, and I really like it. It's not like super voluminous, it's not super long or lengthening, but it's a great mascara and it doesn't smudge, and it's perfect, especially since I don't want my lashes to be that long because my lashes go in every direction. I only want them to be black because I obviously am naturally blonde, so I want them to just be dark so you can't really see them when I use my false lashes. And actually these lashes are also from Glam Shop. These are called Flirt, and I actually really like them. This is the first time I'm using them, so I can't say they're like my favorites. They're very voluminous and I really like them. So yeah, those are the lashes in Flirt that I'm wearing right now. And I'm also wearing their brow mascara in dark, and I was super skeptical. Like, I don't know if you saw my video where I did like a first impression with this one. I was super skeptical about this because it's very pigmented and you get so much product on the brush, but I've been using this for weeks now, like almost since I got it. I've been using it every day because I just try to like wipe off as much of the product as I can on the side of the tube like this. And then I apply just a little bit, like I will just put on, I think I filmed a little clip of it, and I just add it mostly like where I want the deepest color on my brows. And then I just go in with another brow product that I love from Mekka, which is a Norwegian brand, and that one is way more sheer, and I feel a little bit more safe not to smudge my my skin with the product because it's not that pigmented. So those two in combination is one of my favorite, it's my go-to combination for brows lately. I will also say that Glam Shop do amazing eyeliners. They only have, well, I think they just released 3 more in their newest collaboration, but they do have one that is kind of like a peachy yellowy nude, which I used for my lower lash line. No, not the lower lash line, the lower waterline today. And they also have one in Bitter, which is a super dark brown, which is also amazing. It's so smooth. They also have these two, which they released with the Healed Linen palette and the Camo palette, and they're a little bit too deep for me to want to use in the waterline typically, but I think I used this one in my look with the Camo palette, and they really are so creamy and beautiful and really easy to use. And then in my latest order, I also ordered a lip gloss from them. I haven't really used it yet. It seems kind of like a little bit sticky, but it's super shiny. But I'm not very experienced with lip glosses, so I don't really know if this is a good lip gloss or not, and especially since I haven't tried it on the lips yet. And now I think we can talk about some of the brushes that I have. They sent me a lot of brushes, and then I love them so much, so I purchased some myself. So I actually have duplicates of the one that's called O100, and I really like that one for both shimmers and mattes. I'll just zoom you in so you can see them a little bit better. So this is the O100 that I was talking about. It's just a really nice brush. It's like, I think this one is with pony hair. I think they have some with pony, some with goat hair. So they're all like natural brushes, and I don't have that from before. This one I use all the time. It's definitely my favorite brush from them. It's called O122, and it's just perfect because it's like very detailed, and I can use that for a whole look with mattes. Like, I don't need any other brush as long as I have that one. This brush is called O119. It's also very detailed, as you can see. So this one is a little bit thicker than the previous one, so that's why I prefer the previous one. But this one is also a very nice blending brush. Like, I want to show you so you can like see the difference of the brushes as well. But so here we have this one. I haven't really used that much because it gets a little bit too big for me personally. But it's the 118 brush, so if you'd like a little bit of a bigger blending brush, that would be great for you. And this one I actually have used a bit. I don't know why, because this is like the same kind of a little bit bigger brush. I mean, I guess it's a little bit more dense, so if you are packing on a lot, like for example for the whole lid, this one could be very nice. It's 107. And then we have one of my favorite brushes. This one, it's one of those, I think they're called tapered brushes. This is 104. Oh my god, I'm not zoomed. Not focused at all, but as you can see, it's like very wide here, but then it's very like slim on the side, and that just works perfectly for getting into the crease. So I love that. And this is just a huge like fluffy blending brush, and I have used that like a couple of times, but it's not one of my favorites that I use the most, but it's a nice brush, especially if you want a bigger blending brush. They do also have a bunch of face brushes that I use on a daily basis. I love them. This one I use for blush. It's their T126 one, and then we have this one that I use for contour. It's their T127. Then we have my favorite concealer brush. I never used brush for concealer until I used this one because it's just perfect to blend it in and really get into those lines. That is their O121. Then we have their T125, which I use for bronzer. So I use this here and I use it like in my forehead. Then it is their T128 brush, which is kind of like, I think it's supposed to be used for highlight, but I use it for powdering my under eye because it really gets into like where I normally have creasing. So I really like that. Like, it looks so dirty because I haven't washed it in a while. And then I have T124. This one I've barely used, but I've used it for cream blush because it's so dense and it worked so nice for that. So when I'm getting all my cream blushes that I've ordered from different brands, I will definitely be using this a lot. And then it's my go-to foundation brush. Like, you can see it's wet because I just used it, and it's really just so good. I like it more than my Sigma one that I have. The Sigma one is their flat kabuki brush in F80. It looks like this, but it's a little bit too flat in my opinion. So I really like this one because it's a little bit more rounded. So that's why I have this as my go-to foundation brush. I think this will be the last of like the small individual products that I have. This is their Glam Glue, and mine has gotten a little bit discolored because I started out using it like directly on the eye on top of matte shadows. So of course that's not the way you're supposed to use it. I do have another one and I will not make the same mistake with that one. But this one really is great if you need something that is crease proof for oily eyelids. But, and there's a big but here, a big but here. This one does contain alcohol, and I do think that they changed the formula since I got mine, because I got mine in early January and I talked to someone who got it like in April or something, I think, and the ingredient lists were different. So just be very aware of like the ingredients if you have sensitive eyes, because that might not be for you. But I typically use both my Smashbox Primer and shadow on top, so I do kind of have a slight, like a small barrier in between, so I never really had any issues with it, except from when I've done eye swatches, because then I get so sore on my eyes and then it really stung. But now it's time to show my palettes, and god, I have so many eyeshadow palettes from them. I'm going to count them this time, I think, because I brought them all out. So this one, I will just start with this one because it's discontinued. I will just start with all of those because they are getting discontinued as well. It's what I filmed with today, like the small ones. But this is their Smoky Palette, and they have released these as singles, which is so exciting because this is literally the most amazing thing you will ever use if you like black eyeshadow. So I just had to show you how this looks. It's so sparkly and oh, it's just incredible. Just look at that. So this one I think is called Lunar if you're interested in getting it as a single, because this is like top 5-10 single shadows in my whole collection. Awesome. I'm going to get one single shadow just because I'm not able to depot this palette. But this is a really beautiful palette, and you can also get like these two. I think this is called New Moon. This one I'm not sure about, but it is on the website as a single. Then we have this wonderful palette that I used in the look that I did today. It's called Warm, and this one is actually still on sale as I am making this video, so hopefully it will still be live on the website when this video is going up and their sale is gonna be. So this one is actually just between $8 and $9 right now, so that's such a steal. And like, I used this in my look today and it was just such a beautiful shadow. Like, I did not expect that because I'm not usually into those neutrals, but you can like see that shine, and it's almost a little bit green as well, so I really like that one. And obviously the mattes are really beautiful too. Then we have this one. The previous one I didn't buy myself, but the Smoky Palette, and this one I did buy myself. And this one has, like, this is the one I would recommend the most out of this and the previous one, just because look at those intense shimmers right there. So freaking amazing. Like, just go ahead and watch my video on this palette, like the look that I did today, to see these in action because they're so beautiful. And yeah, I'm so excited about this one. Here you have that orangey shade swatched next to the black. They're just so intense. I did notice that I forgot to show you this one. It's a highlight I got sent from them actually in PR, and it's a beautiful one. This one is called something like Swietlowka or something. Not sure how to pronounce it. You will find it easily on their website. They don't have too many of these highlighters, so yeah, it's a really nice one. And now we're going into like the very exciting part. Like, I have so many palettes from them. I have a whole bunch of their 9-pan palettes, so I think we will just start out with those, and I will get into the bigger palettes and then we can do the single shadows. The first 9-pan palette I already depotted, but I put them back, so I cannot show it properly because I'm scared they will fall out. But this is the green one, and it's just incredibly stunning. The middle shade right there is just incredible. Like, this is worth it just for that, but I just generally think this is a super beautiful palette. Definitely a fave of mine, because this one, it's like, again, one of my favorite shadows in my whole collection. It's just so stunning. And this one is gorgeous, and yeah, it's just a beautiful palette. Okay, that could have gone so wrong. I just like lost this in the floor, and it was kind of like I smashed it to the floor, so these two bottom ones fell out, but I was even able to flip them over and put them back in the pan, and then I just pressed them down with my coffee tamper tool. So yeah, this is the Camo palette. Definitely a gorgeous palette. I will say that the mattes weren't like my favorite mattes from them, just because I didn't get like as much pigment as I wanted with this one, but the shimmers are incredible. You have two marbles and oh yeah, these are just really beautiful, so I do recommend it for the shimmers. Then it's their High-Adherence palette. This one is definitely one of their best purple palettes. I really like this one. You have a hollow shadow there in the middle as well, and I just love the depth of this palette. It's so beautiful. And we also have this one, which is their Fioletti palette, which is also really beautiful, but I did feel like I like the formula of this one a little bit better. Like most of these are the same Glam Shop formula that I love and like I know and love, but I don't know, there was just something when I played with this. I only used it once, but there was just something that like I didn't feel that excited when I used it. But it is really beautiful. Like this shimmer down here is a little bit drier than I'm used to, but it's still translated really beautifully. And I promise I will edit this video soon, because I've had it for such a long time and still didn't edit it. But yeah, this is the Fioletti palette. Then it's their Citrinada palette, the lemon palette. It is so beautiful. I really love this one. It's just, it has this gorgeous yellowy shimmer. This one is incredibly special. And yeah, it's just a sparkly palette, and these two satin shades surprised me so much because they were just like, they look so bland, but when you get it on the eye, they do have a nice sheen. So this one is more of a limey sheen, whereas this one has more of like a peachy sheen. So this palette is also gorgeous. We have the Laguna palette right here. I waited so long to get this, but like this shimmer is just one of the most intense shimmers ever. It's so beautiful. And I really like this palette. It only has two mattes, but those mattes are like perfect if you're only gonna have two mattes in a palette. So I do also have a video on this one if you're interested in that. This blue Niebieski 2020 palette, it was the Pantone color of 2020. When I first used this, I was so in shock because of the shimmers. This was like one of their first palettes that I tried, and I did not expect the shimmers to be that great. And they're like the turbo glows or almost even sparklier, and the blues are amazing. And this one is for neutral lovers, but maybe that like a little bit more color because it has a pink. It's just so beautiful. This one is so deep and nice, and like this one is so shiny. This one is one of their velour shades, I think, because it's very similar to Headliner that they have in velour shade, but it's a little bit more greeny tone. This is their Burnt Sugar or Brazer palette, and this one was like a hidden gem in my opinion, because it's like, it's got some very cool toned neutrals, and then you have these warm toned gorgeous mattes, and then this shade. This shade, I used this in the look that I did with this palette, and it's incredibly sparkly and just insane. So if you like neutrals, then this one is amazing. Oh, and then we have the Paprika palette, also one of the first ones I got, and like if you look at Tabasco, that shade there, it's so shifty, and also like both the all the shimmers are so amazing, but all the ones on like the second and third rows, they're just up my alley. So sparkly, so multidimensional. Oh, I love this. And I think this will be the last 9-pan palette. I actually ordered the Kokusanka palette, which is a very cool toned neutral palette, because I want this for when I'm starting to work at a school, because I want some neutral looks but with some extra shine. And especially like these top shades surprised me. They're so beautiful, and I'll definitely do a video on this palette because it's so beautiful and perfect for neutral and cool toned looks. So I'm very excited about this palette as well. And here we have their Neon Matte Pastel palette. This one is incredibly pigmented. So stunning. It's just incredible formula. I really recommend this one if you want some more mattes in your collection. I will just see if I can leave a picture up of it, like the swatches I did, because this one swatches so nicely. I mean, I guess I can just show you, like, look at how opaque that white is. It's incredible. So yeah, this is definitely a palette that I recommend. So beautiful. I also have a few of like their longer palettes right here. This is the Remix palette that I got sent in PR, and this one surprised me, you guys. Like, I don't necessarily like this as a standalone palette. I also filmed with this one, but I haven't I haven't edited it yet, sorry. But like this shade, is so stunning. It's like a bluish green to purple shift, and then those two here, I just have to swatch them because they're so sparkly and so beautiful. These were so exciting to me, and like all the shimmers here are just so beautiful, like these ones as well that I'm right next to here. So yeah, this one is definitely a hidden gem as well. So here are those two shades swatched out. You can see they're a little bit finer than the other ones I have there, but so beautiful. And then I have another one that is completely matte, and this one is such a great matte palette because you have so much variation. So this one is definitely something you can bring along with, for example, your marble shadows or your turbo glows or something like that, because you can just like have this one, which will give you so many options, and the quality is really, really good. Like, it's powdery, but it's so pigmented and they blend so well, and they're very, very opaque. This is another palette that I got in PR that I have used a few times but still haven't edited and uploaded, but it has a lot of beautiful colors in it. It's not something I would have picked up myself because, especially of this glitter right here, I would not use that. I think this one is a glitter too, but I really do like this shade. The pink is beautiful, and this purple is something I really, really loved using, and it's just a beautiful palette, really. Then I have this one that I also got in PR. It's their auto portrait. I don't know how to pronounce that, but it's the Glam Shop X Honea palette, which is their owner, and it is actually less neutral than you would think, because when I was using this for going to work at the school, I could not make it that like neutral because of the shadows being so, like, most of them are quite deep except from like this one and maybe this one, but on my fair skin tone this is a quite deep palette, and you do have a lot of beautiful colors in it. Even though they are relatively neutral, they are quite colorful still. So this one is a really beautiful palette. Then we have the Celebra palette right here, which is one I wanted to pick up, but then I was so lucky to get this sent to me, and it has so many beautiful shades. Like the purples, these mattes are just so up my alley, and like if you look at the greens and the purples, it's like they're so shiny and sparkly. I just really, really like these shadows. So this one I would definitely recommend if you want like to try out a little bit of some different colors, because these are so beautiful together. So here you have them swatched out, and this will of course be so much more intense and beautiful on a glitter glue. That was the last of the palettes, so now we're getting into the single shadows, and I hope that you're still surviving because this is a long video. So here I only have these that are Glam Shop shadows. I did already swatch these in my swatch party part 2, and these are really beautiful, like especially this one, which is called Lilac, is so beautiful and really surprised me. It's kind of like a neutral but with some different sparkles and shifts that, you know, I really appreciate. So I really like that one out of this little bunch right here. And here I have all of the newest turbo glows and the marble shades that I got sent in PR, and like my favorites here are obviously Turbo Snap, then it's Epigram, which has like a yellow base with a pink shift. I think those are like my main favorites. Also I like this one is called Lacy Pink, and those are some of my favorites of the turbo glows. Oh, and of course Tombak right here. It's like a more neutral, cool toned shade but with a golden shift. So obviously I'm not swatching this out like really properly because I only take a little bit on my finger. So yeah, this is not good at all. But yeah, hopefully you can see them a little bit here. I do have a little bit too much light, but those are just some of my favorites of those. And when it comes to the marbles, I really love these two. This is Scandal, and then it's Fashion for Success. Those are two of my favorites, together with maybe like Tarot. And really just all of these purples are just so beautiful. I do have macros and I do have swatches of all of these in my Glam Shop Marble and Turbo Glow video. So yeah, I don't think I'll swatch the others here, but these are intense and so opaque. I almost forgot to mention this one, but I do have all of their hollows in this palette, and I just made a video on that, so that is one of my latest videos. are with swatches of all of these. And I actually did lose these to the ground a couple days after, so they are a little bit like messy right now, but I managed to save most of them. These are actually from my newest order, so all of these mattes are just because I love their transitional shades, so if you're into that then you should definitely be getting those. These are the only ones I haven't swatched yet out of my single shadows, so I will get to that hopefully soon during the summer. But yeah, I really like these. These two are from like this is Blueberry I think, and this is Military I think it's called, and those are from one of their palettes that they have discontinued and released as singles. So out of these colors, those would be my favorite. But yeah, I really love all of these. And here you can see those two swatched, just beautiful and opaque and very pigmented. Then it's all of my velours, and you could see a few of them in the other palette that I just showed you because I can't fit all of them in here, but you can see that this is a very special formula and I just absolutely love this formula. It's so incredible. This is like Abracadabra is one of my absolute favorites ever because it's so unique. And you can, like, there are so many beautiful shades here. I could swatch them all, but the most shiny ones are the ones that are my favorite ones. And both of these are relatively similar, but I think this one might be the best. And that is the one called Charm. It just has a purple base with a green shift as well, and oh, I just really like this. And Magic down here is so gorgeous. And also Baltic, which is the blue. They're just really stunning. And then the purples down here are also some of my favorites. Like, I could say that all of these are my favorites. And if you like golds and oranges, these two definitely also call my name a little bit because they're so bright. So yeah, here you can see those that I swatched. And let's just swatch them right here next to the mattes so you can see like how beautiful those are. Really pretty. And now I really had to zoom out again so you can actually see this whole palette. This is a Colored Rain 96 pound palette. I think they're on sale now too, actually. But yeah, these are all the shadows. I did a swatch party part 1 with like this side of the palette, and then the latest one that I did was with this and some of the others that I already showed you. So I don't even know where to begin with this because I love all of these shadows so much. If you want an iridescent one, I would really recommend this one, which is their shade that's called Star or Gviazda, I think. It has a lot of like multi-dimensional sparkles. This one is a kind of like yellowy green one that's called Puszczyk, and this is just so beautiful and sparkly. And here we have two that are very similar. It's Ornament and AU, and those are basically the same, so just get the one that's cheapest. We also have this one called Darevia, which is just a really beautiful orangey shade with a kind of pink shift. So here we have that one. This is really hard to do because the palette is so heavy. And we have here it's Steadied, and then it is Satellita. Those are also very similar, but definitely some of my favorites. And the purples here, of course, this is Sasanka, this is Orchid, both beautiful. This one is called Hocus Pocus. It's just a super beautiful and intense purple with like a pink, no, a goldish shift. Oh, of course we have Laser in the middle there that shifts green, so beautiful. Festival Lovi is that berry shade next to it, so stunning as well. And I really recommend really just all of these deeper purpley and burgundy shades. Those will definitely be some of my favorites. And then we have like Vata Sukrova right here, one of my favorites. Sorsa right here, it's called Aurora I think in English. Definitely also one of my favorites. So here we have that Revia shade. It really needs a glitter base. Most of these really do need that to really show. Oh, I didn't even swatch anything there. It was just the old wizard shade. And this one is definitely a must-have, so I'll just swatch that over that blue. This is Tiul, or Tully I think it's called maybe in English, but this one is just so unique together with Vata Sukrova. And I'll also just swatch Laser and Sorsa right here because they are some of my absolute favorite shades. So these four are some of the first ones I got and some of the ones that are most unique to my collection from Glam Shop. Also, if you like blues, I definitely recommend all of their blues. Matavi blues, then we have Laser and Nie Bosklon, I think it's called, and Atrament. They're all just so beautiful together and like some of the absolute best blues I've ever tried. And I'm not even joking about that. Also, these more teal shades are so beautiful. This is Troll, which is definitely one of my favorites, and Bahami, which is a little bit lighter. And then of course these grungy shades. So this one is Kwasniak, then it is Marinovani Groszczek, then it's Pistache something, Pistache Cream I think it's called, and Popsuti Matte, which like these three greens in particular are just incredible and I really love those. Those are some of my favorite colors. Oh, and then you see here it's Bombovi I think. Oh my god, it's so shifty. It's a little bit like Tucana by Davina. Oh, I could speak about all of these forever. Like here you have the Fireworks one. Just such an intense silver. Oh, I think I'll just have to end it here because I'm just going to talk about all of these. But like you definitely should also check out like Bingo, which is this one. It's just such a beautiful red matte. And Jamaica Rum, which is this one, is a gorgeous burgundy. Like they have so many awesome ones, and this one Galovka I've used so much. Also here we have some of their yellows which are just amazing. This one is the Brudny Salty, which is something like brown yellow, and then Swamkovi, which is an amazing yellow too. Those are my favorites of those. And out of like these transitional shades, I love all of them. Especially maybe Sople right here. Sople, it's very like yellowy white almost, and all of the lighter purples. I would not be without them. I love them so much and I would definitely replace all of them if I somehow lost them. And here in the middle you have Kandi Sylvana, which was one of their ultra pearls. It's just incredibly beautiful, an orange shade. And also Zigzag, which is this one. It's an absolute dupe for Divina in Asteria. So that's also really beautiful. But yeah, I'm just going to say that all of these are my favorites, so I think I'll have to just end it here. I hope that you liked this video and that it was hopefully helpful for you. And please remember that they have a sale, so these will be so cheap, and I definitely recommend to try some of these out if you have the same taste in makeup as I do, because these are amazing quality and they're so beautiful and so sparkly. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. I hope that you liked this video. Please give it a thumbs up if you did, and subscribe to my channel if you want to see more content from me. And I hope I'll see you in my next video. Bye!